Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here. And today we have not one, but two finishes. Yay! So this makes 2 and 3 for me for finishes for January. So yay! Yes, they are snack size paintings, but don't judge me in my life choices, okay? If I choose to finish some snack sizes, I choose to finish some snack sizes. Plus, if you guys remember from the unboxing, which I will have linked to pop up and scare the crap out of you somewhere up there. I wanted to do a square versus round showdown. Which one will prevail? So if you don't remember, this is what the little image looked like. And there's another little picture that should pop up on the side over there. It says, "Let it be." It is from the store Home Craftology. And I also wanted to test them out because I had been asked by a subscriber to test them out. So here it is. So here we go. Square versus round. Before I go into it, I would like for you guys to pause the video, look at the paintings, and tell me which one you like best. Do you like number 1 or number 2? Number 1, number 2. Number 1 or number 2. I'm not going to tell you which one is which. You just tell me which one you think is which. All right. So, first things first. I had 0 issues completing these paintings. Now, what you're seeing me do is push down on the drills. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, she has popping drills. No. Actually, the drill quality was really good. It wasn't the best, but it still was pretty good. What you're seeing me do right now is after I filmed the unboxing, it developed bubbles. I tried cutting the bubbles and they wouldn't, essentially, the bubbles wouldn't fix themselves. Like they kept popping back up like with my Royal Diamond painting kit. So what I'm having to do is like roll over it again and then it flattens the drills out. So I didn't have any popping drills on my square kit. I did find some knobbly bits on some of the drills, but not all of them. Not enough to make the canvas pop. And I just interchanged those out. So I used good drills instead of bad drills. I didn't just put drills down even if they had knobbly bits. So there is no popping on this kit. So now that you've written down in the comment section which one you liked best, I'm going to tell you which one is which. Here's our square. Here is our round. Now you can probably tell if you actually zoomed into the picture or you're using this on a big screen. This is our square. This is our round. Now, do keep in mind that anything I say in this video is my own opinion and how I view this square versus round comparison, okay? For me, the resolution on the square kit is better than on the round. By resolution, I mean, is it fuzzy? Are you able to see the details better? Do keep in mind that these are both 20 by 20 centimeters. I did have better resolution on my square than my round. The round has a fuzzier resolution to it, which means it looks a little fuzzier than the square does. The squares are a little bit, the squares give me a little bit more detail than the rounds do. And that's just because there are more facets available on squares than there is on rounds. So I honestly, in my opinion, squares win this round. Squares win it for visibility wise. If you would like, and you're not a big fan of squares, if you would like to go with a round, that is perfectly okay. But you do have to keep in mind, you're going to have to get the image bigger than if you say were to get it in a square. So where you might be able to get a 50 by 40 in a square, you might have to go 60 by 50 or 50 by 60 for a round to get that detail that you want. Just because of the pure shape of the drills, you're not going to get the best resolution out of squares or out of rounds unless you get it big. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I need it a little bit. No, you need to get it in a decent enough size, which means that's going to take more time that you're diamond painting, which is why I try to encourage people, get used to squares. They're not that scary. Yes, if you have OCD and you just hate it because you can't line the squares up absolutely perfect, you're looking for perfection in an imperfect world. And so with the resolution, you're obviously going to get better resolution out of a square than a round. Why? Because rounds are, I believe, 2.8 millimeter, whereas a square is 2.5. And so even though the area that you're diamond painting might be the same size, 2.5 is going to give you a little bit more, it covers a little bit more space than the rounds do, which is why there's this gapping in between the rounds and there isn't in between the squares. It's going to give you that depth in your picture to make it look better, to give it more definition than, say, the round does. The round will still give you that if you get it in a bigger size. But because the drills are bigger for a round, and it does leave a little bit of spacing, because when you put two circles next to each other, there's going to be space. So in the diamond painting, there are spaces in between the rounds. You can't avoid that. That is just what happens with rounds. Whereas with squares, you want your square kit, one, to not have bubbles. Two, when you put your drills down, you want to fix those bubbles so they don't lift up off your canvas. But with your square kit, as you can see, there's not supposed to be a lot of space, because that's what gives your picture that depth. And where you can do the same image like I did here, you can do the same image in the same size. Your square is going to come out better because there's more area covered with the square drills than there is with the round. Because again, you're filling more space on the canvas with the square drills than you are with the round. So for that factor, square is going to win the square versus round comparison. And again, you can always still go round, but in rounds, you're going to want to go bigger and to get that definition and detail that you want. So if you're looking to get that realistic look to your diamond painting, if you're looking to get the best quality out of that image, but you're not really ready to go for a huge, massive diamond painting, I would definitely recommend going square. Now, I love doing squares. A lot of people don't like doing squares. They're intimidated by squares because if you don't line them up the correct way, tips for doing this: use checkerboard method. Works like a charm. Use a ruler. By ruler, they do have a mesh ruler, which I will link that video up there somewhere. They do have a mesh ruler that for squares. If you're willing to go through that process of placing it down, putting the drills in, lifting it up, and placing it back down, they do have a ruler for squares to make sure they come out perfect. Squares are going to take you a little bit more time than a round, but it's also going to give you the best detail because there's more, how do I want to say this? There's more here. There's more space being covered on this kit than there is on this kit. So like if you look, like say, and look in the bee's face. Here you can tell the little bee is smiling. You can see the little smiley face. Whereas on this one, it's a little fuzzier. You can still see it. Like where from my standpoint, I can't see it. So let's bring you down to about where I'm at. So about right here. The bee's face looks a lot fuzzier here than it does here. This one gives you a little bit more depth because there are more colors covering that area. Whereas there's gaps in this area, and because there's gaps, it takes away from that definition in your picture. So in rounds, you are going to want to go larger for the picture to get the detail that you want. Whereas in squares, not necessarily going this small, but you don't have to go as big as you would if you were working with a square. So, and what happens is that picture is broken down into tiny little pixels, which are usually in squares. So when you put a round drill down, it's going to space them out a little bit, which is why you, like right here, perfect example. See the little smile on this flower's face? It's still fuzzy, but you can see it. Whereas in this flower here, it's just a block of color. There's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors here. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, what, 1, 2, 3. There's about 5 different colors here to make up this smile, where there's only like 4 or so here. It's trying to make up for the fact that there's spaces in between the drills. And whereas on a square kit, you're not going to get those spaces because it's covering more of that area. Rounds have to make up for that by adding more colors, which is why this kit has 23 colors for the square and this kit has 25 colors for the round. It's trying to make up that resolution by adding colors and giving it depth that you can't get in a round painting of this size. And when it does that, it actually makes it a little fuzzier, just like if you look right here and let it be. Let it be over here, you can see it perfect, nice and clear. Over here, it's a little fuzzy. You can still see it good, but it's still a little fuzzy. So even like in the wings here, they still look good, but these are clearer than this one. This one still looks a little fuzzy, just like in the faces and the flowers, even the face on the bee, even the little wiggly. Now do keep in mind, this does look a lot better because it's on camera. On camera, things look a lot better because you're up a little higher than say you would be if you were actually working on the actual kit. Now, with that said, again, if you want the detail and the resolution, you want square. If you still want that detail and resolution, but you're not a square fan, go bigger and around. Both are going to take you some time because it's diamond painting. But to get the detail and stuff that you're looking for, you're going to have to go bigger and around than you are a square because of how it's broken up. So that is my interpretation of round versus square. Square wins it because it has smaller drills covering more of a surface area than rounds, which have the spaces because you can't put two circles together and not have spaces between them. So that is my go-to for round versus square. Now let's talk about home craftology. I like the kit. Minus the bubbles. And what I did here on the side, if you're wondering what that is, I did it on both of them. I placed, because there is glue that comes out to the side, and it perfectly matches up with the side of the legend. So what I did was I put a drill of that color next to it so that I wouldn't get confused whenever I was doing it. That's just a matter of preference. Just like square versus round is a matter of preference. You just have to choose what size is best for you. But I essentially, I liked working on the kits. I didn't have any problems. I did lose a bag of drills for the rounds kit. I don't know what happened to it, folks. I actually liked working on the kits. They were easy to work on. The glue, it was tacky, but I felt like it could have been a little bit tackier in some spots than others. The drill quality, it was also a little iffy, It was a little iffy just because there was some tabs on the drills. And what I did is I had plenty of drills left over. I'm pretty sure I had a bag or two of the 3865 that I hadn't even opened yet for the squares. And so, because I had a bag that I hadn't even opened yet, I had plenty of drills that I was able to switch out the bad ones for the good ones. I didn't have any popping drills on my square. What you're seeing raised up here are where there are bubbles. There are bubbles underneath the canvas that I couldn't get to lay flat, so I'm keep having to flatten them. So when I go to frame these, they're just going in a normal frame. I'm doing my old frame job where I just put it in the frame, flip the paper over, put the frame together, boom. I will have that linked up in the eye if I can remember, but I actually like the kits. Would I recommend? Sure, I'd recommend them. I would have to tell the company, though, the glue. The glue needs a little work, and so do the drills. The knobbly bits on the drills, where it wasn't horrific, it was still enough that it was a pain in the butt to have to, like, cipher out this drill for that drill, which you're going to get trash in any kit you get, but drill quality is key here, and they did give me enough to complete both kits. They did give me enough that if I had some bad drills, I could replace them, so kudos to them on that. But I honestly didn't have any major problems with completing these kits. So would I recommend them? Sure. Give them a try. Everyone has their own experiences when it comes to diamond painting. Some are good, some are bad. If you watch Rachel Ray's video on her home craftology, she had popping drills. Why? I don't know. I've also noticed that darker colors tend to be the ones that have the most popping drills, and I think it's just because of the fact that darker colors are the most mass produced, so they're made very quickly, and sometimes when you do things quickly, you make a lot of errors. So I'm thinking that's why she might have had them. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen her kit. Well, I've seen it, but not like in person. But for me, All I did was switch out some of the bad drills for the good drills. The round drills were actually pretty good quality. I didn't really have a whole lot of problem with those. So with that said, would I say try home Craftology? Of course I would. Give them a try. See what they're all about. See if you can find something you like. The glue, again, it's iffy. The drills for the squares were iffy. I didn't have any popping drills or anything major wrong with this kit. Just losing a bag of drills. I didn't have any major problems with this. Took me about a day and a half to complete both canvases. The canvas quality was really good. Which is weird because the back of it is like flat. I've had this laying flat underneath something heavy so that the drills on the square wouldn't come off because of, like, if you look like this, I don't know, hold on, let me bring it down a little bit because I'm like, okay, you can see it right there. So when I lift it up like that, you see the lines. Those lines are where the bubbles are, and I can't get them to flatten themselves out, and you can see the bubble coming out from underneath here and how it's raised. I couldn't get them to flatten out, so I'm going to put them in a frame so that they will flatten themselves out. So there you have it, folks. My square versus round. Which one do I think won? Square, obviously. It covers more space. It only makes sense. Like, okay, here we go. If you didn't understand what I was saying. So when you put rounds next to each other, there's going to be a gap. Those gaps keep it from having the detail that you want. Whereas the squares cover more area, and it's going to give you that detail and that depth that you want in your picture, folks. So even if you have to practice on a few snack size paintings, I would definitely go square. Squares for the win. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more random crazy videos just like this one, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. If this video at all helped you, please down in the comment section below, give me a smiley face emoji. I would greatly appreciate it to see if this video helped anybody decide whether or not they should go round or square for a project. So yeah, that's it. But I'm going to now have to bid you adieu. Not before reminding you, like I always try to, be kind, be courteous,